one thing I noticed is the representation of women in Shakespeare's works, and today it's the hot topic, like how a movie is representing a woman, how an author is representing women in his writing. Back in the day, that was not a big concern, but today it's a big issue. So I was thinking, how about we dissect how Shakespeare represented women in his books. But before that, we need to understand the women of his time. We need to understand the rights of women in that era. So the first thing is that during Shakespeare's time, women didn't have much social status. They were not allowed to vote, mind it. So Shakespeare read his books at a time when women didn't have the right to vote. They were not allowed to own properties either, or speak openly in public. So that was their life. They were confined at home and had little respect in open. So at that time, Shakespeare wrote some of the characters quite strong, I would say, and the way he presented them, it showed that his women were actually valued and given honor and respect. I can name a few characters who actually stood out as strong, independent women. Okay, so we can start with Lady Macbeth. So in Macbeth, we find that Lady Macbeth is actually one of the most powerful characters. She pushes her husband to murder the king so he can take the throne. So in the drama, we find her a very strong character. Remember, this is a time when in plays or dramas or stage performance, the female characters were played by men. Okay, so women were not playing those roles either. But at that time, Shakespeare created a character who was making everything happen. So because of her influence, Macbeth actually committed those crimes. Then we have Portia, smart and strategic. In The Merchant of Venice, we find Portia quite an intelligent person. Like, again, I won't give everything away, but we find that she disguised herself as an advocate or as a lawyer and saves Antonio from Shylock's bond. Now, okay, Portia wasn't fighting in the war, but what she did, that she disguised herself as a man and went to the court, played the role of a lawyer and saved a man. So this shows a great thing, like a woman is saving a man, something you won't find in that period of time. Again, Shakespeare wrote some characters that were trapped by the society, like we had Desdemona, Ophelia, who had just hope, and that's it. They didn't have much of a strong character. Even Juliet. Now, if you think about Juliet, we can say that okay, she's just a girl, teenager girl, she fell in love, blah blah blah. But think about this. Shakespeare wrote it at his period. We had Juliet, who is in her teenage. She falls in love with Romeo, and she shows the guts to marry him in secret, and they made the plan to escape. So at that time, Juliet showed this courage to escape home, to go with her husband or her lover. This shows that she was rebellious and courageous. She wasn't afraid of taking the risk. So even if we say that both made mistakes or silly mistakes, but Juliet did show some strong characteristics. So in my opinion, Shakespeare didn't keep her women one dimension, like they are just there to support their husbands, their lovers, and do nothing. They made things happen. They guided, influenced, and left impact. If you read his dramas, his plays, you have to remember some of the female characters. So considering the period Shakespeare was in, he was quite progressive, and he treated women with quite respect, I might say. So if you love exploring characters from fictions, so do subscribe my channel. We'll have a lot more discussion from various series, various books, fiction, non-fiction, and more. So do subscribe my channel. See you in the next video.